Hi, my name's John. Welcome to another Sunday night nightcap. The first of tonight's nightcaps, I do a repair on an aluminium sump. The sump's got a crack in it. I have to weld it up and drill it and tap it and put a helicoil in where the sump plug goes. In the second of tonight's nightcaps, I get a parting tool blade and some tips given from an engineering firm. I did them a job and that's what I got in payment, and I make a holder to use a parting blade. Machine a dovetail and things doing quite good according to plan, but I leave in the method I use to sort things out, which I always find better. If I make a mistake, I'll leave it in and show you how I rectify the mistake instead of making everything look perfect. That's some of your meal come in actually a few weeks ago and I forgot all about it. I wouldn't care, I've been using the stuff, so I'm going to do a little bit on the viewer mail that came in. This is an aluminium sump of a VW car. That's the hole where the drain plug goes, and it's got a crack down there. The cracks are normally caused by over tightening. It's quite a common fault. You can't just run a little bit of weld down the crack. You've got to dig all this out and build it up into a solid lump with weld. I'll bring the camera in closer so you can see the crack. One of the hardest things with welding aluminium sumps, automotive stuff, is oil contamination. Getting the oil out of the aluminium before you try and weld it. Right, that's the crack, just so they always go in exactly the same place. You can see inside there isn't very much metal, but I'm going to build all that up solid and hopefully it'll weld quite nicely. It's all been washed out with acetone, and now we're going to cut this crack out using a die grinder, do a fair bit of damage to it, and then we'll go about welding it. I'll try and get some decent arc shots. When you're cutting aluminium, a little bit of candle wax on the cutter helps to stop it from blocking up. Makes a massive difference. So we've done a suitable amount of damage to it. When you're wire brushing as well, you don't wire brush like that because that rubs the oxide into the aluminium. Just do it in one direction like that. That looks reasonably clean. We'll give it a go and see if it'll take weld. It depends on what sort of alloy it is, if it welds or not. Normally these are decent material. I'm going to use this Artec 261 AC/DC TIG inverter on the welder sump. The minute it's on DC TIG, we got the AC TIG. It's on the easy set. That's your normal setting where you can set it up by hand. I'm going to go straight into easy set because I find it easier to set basically. Right, so we'll start with tungsten size 2.4. I use 2.4 for most things. We'll see it's 5mm thick. I'm only plenty of amperages. It's silicon-based aluminium. Call it a corner joint. Pulse. It's got 5 pulse settings built in. I found that pulse setting number 3 is good on aluminium castings. Using a pedal, it's going to give us 155 amps. I won't need all of that, but I'm using a pedal so I can back it off. Simple as that. I've used this setting before. I've actually got the settings saved in the menu. You can see up to 20 settings in there. So now when I come to weld a casting like that, I just go straight to the menu and I'm basically well within the parameters. If it's going to weld, you can go up or down 10 amps either way to fine tune it. Just clear the arc around first a little bit to get some heat into it. You see it's starting to cook the crap out of the aluminium. The little black floaters, that's the rubbish coming out of it. Kind of got something to work with now. That's welded up, not too bad. It's nice and clean. I blended the inside in as well. We'll knock some of these little lumps off with an angle grinder, and then we'll see if we can machine it and get some new threads into there. Once again, putting candle wax on the disc does make a big difference. Plenty of build up on there. Machine it flat, drill it and tap it, and the job should be a good one. This is the mounting setup I've got. It's a little bit sketchy, but I'm sure it'll do the job. See, it's an angle plate. I've got one 10mm bolt through the sump, and I've got a big clamp all the way around it. As long as I'm careful, I'm sure I'll be able to do something with this. Instead of putting a big cutter in to do it in one cut, I'm just going to use a nice sharp cutter and just sort of hand CNC machine it. All you want now is a flat face of a Sump washer seal on. We don't need to go do anything stupid with it, we just need to machine it flat. Leaving plenty of material on. It is vibrating, but it's not as bad as I thought it would have been. It's doing alright. Right, that's basically a big enough area for it to seal on. We'll just speed things up and try and get a little bit better finish on it. This really isn't a viable repair cost-wise, because the Sumps aren't that expensive. Problem is, there isn't one available at the minute. See, the metal's nice and solid where the weld build-up is. There's no porous bits in there. Quite happy with that. And that's all weld metal that's coming out of there. And it's nice and solid as well, so happy with that. This thread is 14 by 1.5, very common thread in motor trade. I'm going to put a helicoil in because I haven't got a 14 by 1.5 tap. And also the Helicoil makes a much better, stronger job. There should be Helicoil from new really, it's just cost that there aren't. 14mm is the drill size for the Helicoil repair kit. I can't get any 14mm drill in for the height, but that's a 14mm. It's actually a ball end milling cutter. It's done the job anyway. It's put a 14mm hole in there. I'm starting to become very impressed with this anchor lube. I'm going to have to change some belts around here. A little bit more torque on the spindle. This 3-phase inverter I put on the milling machine is absolutely superb for doing this sort of work. Nice and smooth and controlled. This is the thread insert. Simply screws in, and you want the last thread probably half a turn below the surface, something like that. That's the insert screwed in. The little driving tang snaps off. That's it there. And some plug should screw into there. New sump plug. Do the ring spanner, but basically that is absolutely a solid repair. Nothing going to go wrong with that. Very happy indeed. I'll put some paraffin or some diesel in there to make sure there's no leaks, but the way it welded I don't think there will be. This little socket set arrived 2 or 3 weeks ago at work. I've used it quite a bit. It's surprising how much use it's actually got. It's Parkside brand. Parkside are sold by Aldi. It's decent gear. I've got 1 or 2 bits and pieces myself. The difference with these sockets is compared to normal sockets, I want to call it a throw socket. So you can put it over the top of a stud like that, where you couldn't get a normal socket on, even a deep socket. And you've got a ratchet in that end like that, which is reversible. And it's also got an adjustable spanner on that end. So I picked it up because it's there, it's handy to use. Thanks very much, it will get used, and I do appreciate you sending it in for us. The next item is something steam related. 2 nice little brass oilers. And they are solid brass, original ones. One of my engines got modern ones on which are tin plate. I'm going to change them for those, so they're going to be ideal. They look like brand new oil stock, but they're certainly proper job. I've also a small set of spanners here. I think they'll be going to go to my friend Bob, because he's the one that plays with the small nuts and bolts. That's possibly what they call a magneto spanner. Not sure. It's got a 1/4 type blade on there and like a feeler gauge. I'm sure somebody will tell us. Once again, thanks very much. I really do appreciate them. Like I say, they're going to get used on one of my engines.